What's going on, people, and welcome back to Total Oz Spurs. Um, what a what a shit game! You all know that we woke up early, Australian time. Kickoff was 2:30, and was a very piss poor performance. I'm exhausted. Luckily, didn't get to go to work today. Little problems with the dog, but that's besides the point. Anyways, here you go. I want to say it now. He needs to be spoken about. Um, the fact that he came out and didn't clear the ball and put his foot through, like I was saying on the stream, is a disgrace. Great shot stopper. Last week proved it. Can't deny that he's been one of the better shot stoppers in the league since his arrival, and even the last year or so, he's done really well stopping shots. But yesterday just goes to show exactly what is wrong with him. And I was talking about goalkeepers like Edison, like Allison. These are the new goalkeepers that are paving the way for the future. They're the modern goalkeeper that can play with the ball at their feet. They make the right decision 99% of the time. And Hugo just has these crazy lapses where he comes short when he should go long. He goes long when he should come short. And that decision today to come out and try and win and get the foul was piss poor. He should have put his foot through it. It's not all his fault. We lost. But that was a main catalyst. The first half, first 30 minutes before that happened, we were dominating the game. And I also want to do mention to Dyer. I like Dyer as a person, as a player, professional, but he's just not good enough. His level has raised since Conte has joined us, but it's just still not good enough for a top 4 team. I listen to other channels, I listen to other fans, and you look at Arsenal, the top of the league, and half their fans, if not 3/4 of the fans, are calling for Gabriel, who last year was their best defender, to be dropped or to be sold because they've seen the level that Saliba can bring, and they're like, if we're gonna compete top 4 and try and compete for the title or compete for trophies, we're gonna need a better pairing in the back 4. But on Dyer, that first goal, I don't know why he wasn't playing to the whistle. I've noticed that a lot about our team. We don't play to the whistle. We're too busy throwing hands up in the air, and maybe it's the modern day football where they're more concerned about fouls or handballs being given instead of playing to the whistle. As kids, I played rugby league as a kid, but even then we got told to play to the whistle. You would never stop. You would never stop running. You would never stop tackling. You would never stop reading the game until the whistle blew. And even then, sometimes you don't hear the whistle. You're too focused on your game. You're too focused on what you need to do. That first goal, he could have prevented that. Prevented it. He could have made it harder for Callum Wilson to shoot. Callum Wilson, all he had to do was just dink it straight into the middle of the goal. If Dyer had taken 2 or 3 steps back, composed himself, made himself look big, to try and to sway Wilson. He could have maybe made Wilson try and go for the corners, or Wilson could have just not seen him last second and he could have cleared it. But that was a disgusting decision by Hugo. I watched it and it was embarrassing to see how much they tried to fight it when Hugo just went down like a sack of shit. It was a soft collision. People can say that if it was the other way around, that's a red card. If the goalkeeper comes in and takes a person out when they're on goal, that's a red card. But I think it was soft. Coming from a rugby league background, I think everyone's soft at the moment in the Prem or in the game itself. It's soft. I think it's the game needs to harden up, and unfortunately, this is the way the modern game plays. Players flop, players roll around, players cry. Wilson cried that he leg got shot out every tackle, time wasting. But give it to Newcastle. They pressed us all game. They played lovely football in the middle. They ripped our midfield apart after the first goal. Almiron, who I fucking think is shite, absolutely tore Langley a new one. Apart from that, Langley did fairly well. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think Dyer was the worst of the defenders. Sess was getting up and down the wing, but his passing was very, very suffering and lacking. It was I don't know if he can cross a ball, to be honest. He did put some balls in the box, but they're always either too deep, they're either too short, or they're in the wrong position. He had a ball where he did it first time, and if he did it any closer to the 6-yard box instead of to the keeper, it could have been a nice attacking play. Sonny obviously was trying to bang it outside the box, but he should have buried that chance. If that's confident, son, that's no hesitation. That's in. That would have changed the whole game. That was a very poor miss by Son. Great goalkeeping by Pope, but I think it was made a lot easier by the fact that Son's just not confident. The fact that he didn't bury that or took his time and tried to dink the goalkeeper. I mean, if that's last year, that's in. But in saying that, the link-up play in the middle was good at the first 30 minutes. I liked the pace of how we're moving the ball. Little 1-2s. It was good. There was good driven passes through the middle. Some was getting into positions, and he felt it looked like he was. He looked like that he was ready to bang it as much as he could. But it is what it is. He didn't do that well. I just don't know what we do from here, boys. Royal played okay. Royal had a decent game, but I just think that the whole game rested on that one mistake by Lloris, and then we just fell apart from them. The confidence fell. But taking time, it's been 16 hours since the game. Full day of thoughts, full day of thinking. And, I was a bit, emotions get the best of you at times, especially when you're watching live. You wake up early and you have to deal with the whole day knowing that you watched your team play like absolute shite and lose, and possibly, have the pack catch them, play really shit football. It is what it is. I don't want Conte out. I think that he has openly said that he needs 2 or 3 transfer windows to get the team competing for titles. Every Tottenham fan would have taken another year in Champions League next year. Top 4 finish. No one thought we were going to win the league, especially when Haaland got bought by City, and no one thought Arsenal would be on the run they're on. I think Arsenal playing so well is making a lot of Tottenham fans panic because we don't want to finish behind them. And as much as we used to mock the St. Tottering's Day, and it hasn't been St. Tottering's Day for 6 years, if we're behind them this year, I think every Tottenham fan's going to feel like we're going backwards because of the way they've done it. And Mikel Arteta, no one really rates him as a manager, even though he's playing fairly well. He's had £380 million to build the team that he has. The way the fans go on, and the fans are going on, and so they are allowed to. It's the top of the league, 4 points clear or 3 points clear. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't checked it. They're playing good football, and they've only lost, apart from that draw against Southampton this weekend, which was they could have lost that game. But one lost to United, and they've beat Liverpool. They've beat us. They have a right to be the way they are. But did anybody expect us to do better than top 4? I don't think so. I didn't. And that's why I'm not panicking. I think Tottenham fans need to relax a little bit. No Conte out, no Levy out just yet. I think what we need to do is understand and realize that we aren't a top team yet. We're still in transition. We still have, we still got the Levy buys. We still have players that have been here since Poch that just aren't cutting it. Your Dyers, Davies. We're starting to blood, Skip again, which I will say Skip, for his first start since January, I think he did well. People would say he's not good enough, but I think he did really well. He did help the transition in the first half. Bentancur, once again, was really good, really critical. Basuma had a decent game. I think had a decent game. I don't think, I just don't think we don't have the creativity going forward. Royal, I will mention Royal. I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think Doherty could have done any better. I think he did what he did was he got into the box, he put balls into the box. He hasn't got the quality like Trippier, and you saw Trippier with those balls behind the line. I've been saying it. I don't know why we let him go to Newcastle for 12 mil when we could have fucking signed him up and played that right wing back role. He would have been miles better than Royal. And I guarantee if he was on our side today, different game. We would be, I'd say, 4 or 5 more points off this season if we had Trippier in the team. But that's not taking away Royal's performance. But Royal played okay. You got to give credit where it's due. You can't always rag on players because you don't like them. We don't think they're good enough for the team. It's just like Dyer. I don't think they're good enough for top 4. But when he's played well, you can't fault him. Apart from that, the changes, Mora, especially mentioned to Mora, looked lively. Kane, nothing to write really home about. Did well, as he always does. He's one of those players that you just sit there and think, like, he's a complete footballer. He doesn't have the pace, but apart from that, he's one of the smartest, one of the most intellectual footballers in the world. And nobody really knows, but when he was in the youth academy, he was playing in midfield before he transitioned to striker. So that's why he has the vision, the creative vision, and I do feel like he will move into that position later on in his career. But apart from that, he did get the goal. It was a good header, really good header. I don't know why they were looking at the Sanchez thing. I think that it was one of those ones where it's like you're just looking for a reason to cancel the goal out. Did really well back post. I don't know why Trippier was put on him. It should have been Dan Burn on him. Harry Kane's great in the air, great in the feet. So having Kieran Trippier against Kane was always going to win that. Paris was okay when he came on, but apart from that, the overall team performance wasn't good enough after the first goal, and heads went down. Conte looked like he had no ideas, and I just think he knows his team isn't good enough. So he's hoping that we can maintain some form of consistency until the January, where he might look at getting more transfers in. But I will say one thing, and it's a bit on my mind the past couple of days, and I've read around and looked around, and I honestly think that for us if Levy's going to back Conte needs to back us. He finishes at the end of his contract's to the end of the year. Okay, he needs to come out in January, and him and Levy need to sit down and have a chat. It's no point spending 150 mil for Conte if he leaves in the summer and the next manager comes in and the formation isn't what we want. The players aren't what he wants or she wants, because you never know. Some of the female managers are actually bossing it in the WSL and the international teams. But I think that we need some commitment from Conte, but that commitment won't come until Levy proves and shows and puts it on the table that he's going to back Conte. So I think it's one of those things where we need to have that trust with the Conte and with Levy to back each other. I would like to see Conte come out before the January transfer and say, I'm staying for another 2 years. I really want to push this project. That'll boost the fans, boost the players as well. And then that actually might push Levy, because, we all know Conte would walk if Levy doesn't give him what he wants. So the fact that he will sign a contract and say, I'll stay here if you back me, and I'm going to be here for the next 2 years at least. I think that'll be a good indication of where we're at. But we're still in the top 4. I think we'll be there January. So I think we'll be in the mix, even if we're sitting 5th or 6th. We'll be a couple of points off 4th. As long as we're there, I do think we can, with the manager, and if we back him in January, we can catch it at the end of the season. But props to Newcastle. They're a legit top 6 side now. I know they've got a few injuries as well. Didn't have Saint Maximin. I'm not sure who else they were missing, but St. Maximin's one of the main key areas. Almiron would be on the team if St. Maximin was playing. They performed the dark arts really well. They wasted time. They held the ball up. They rolled around, and as much as it pisses me off, it shows a sign of a good team who know how to close games out. And it was really a good schooling they gave us of how to really play defensively and to get those goals and then just sit back and absorb and niggle your opponent, frustrate them, create anger in the opposition because they're not getting what they want, they're not getting the ball when they want, and I think that it's props to him, props to Eddie Howe, great manager. I think he was let down by Bournemouth, never should have been sacked by Bournemouth, even if they got dropped, relegated to Championship. I hope he gets the chance to take this team as far as he can. I hope they back him. Good English manager, one of the top two of Graham Potter. But anyway, guys, piss poor performance. Lloris needs to be spoken about. People need to talk about what we do, because I've had my bones picked with him for years, but he's just showing that he's a great shot stopper. But you can't, at the end of the day, the mistakes and playing out from the back like we do, if you can't do it, then get someone that can. And we had a chance to sign Magnan, who I can't remember if he was at Marseille at the time. I think he's at AC now, but he was a great young French goalkeeper. He's about 28 now, obviously young in goalkeeper terms. We had a chance a couple of years ago to sign him. He would have been great. I would have loved Nick Pope. If we were going to replace Lloris, Nick Pope would have been a great buy, but Newcastle, once again, great buy for them. We have rumours about Oblak. I don't know if he'll leave Atletico to come to us, but maybe he wants to play in the Prem, and we're probably the best team to go to. I don't think he's going to go over Alisson or Edison. Maybe over De Gea, if De Gea decides to Uru out of Man United. But Chelsea have Mendy and Kepa, and then we only have Lloris, who's the oldest out of all of them. So if we do get Oblak, that'll kind of sort out our goalkeeper role for a couple of years. He's not young, but he's very experienced, very good goalkeeper at Atletico. But that's my thoughts. People might say that I'm a bit, hasty with the Lloris out. I'm not saying release out, but I just think that if going forward, if our playing out from the back requires a better ball playing goalkeeper, as much as Lloris is a great shot stopper and he showed that against United, it could have been 7-8-0. Maybe it's time we do start looking at a different goalkeeper, a different kind of goalkeeper. And that's just not him, it's the centre-backs as well. Dyer's just not good enough. I love him to bits, but he's not good enough. Davies, Lenglet, just not good enough. Sanchez, don't think he had a bad game, Sanchez, but, going forward, if we're going to, I'd rather have Dyer as the rotation than Sanchez. But even then, they're both not good enough to start. We really do need to look at a centre-back, a right wing-back, Kyle Walker-Peters. I'm going to say it, Kyle Walker-Peters. We said it at the start of the year. I don't know why we don't go back for him. He's a Tottenham boy through and through, plays well for Southampton, can get up and down the wing. He had I think he was treated unfairly by Mourinho and the club. I know we got Højbjerg for him, but I really think that he could have stayed, and we could have traded Aurier and got the same amount of money and Højbjerg. I think Aurier was actually a bit more pricey then. So I don't know why we let go of Kyle Walker-Peters. He'd be a great right wing back. He'd be consistent. He's defensively good. He gets up and down the pitch. He can cross a ball. And I remember when we went up against Barcelona in the Champions League in the group stage, he had a cracker of a game. He made a mistake. They scored, and then his game completely changed. He took that step up and realised he fucked himself over, and he played well. So I know it's only one game, but that's one game that sticks in my head with Kyle Walker-Peters. I feel like playing one of the best teams in the world. I'm pretty sure Messi was still there at that point, and he dusted himself off and got back up, and he is a Tottenham boy through and through, and he didn't want to leave. He just was forced out of the club. It's not the top echelon of right backs that we should, or right wing backs that we should be aiming for, but he would solidify our top four. Ensure that to me that's an extra couple of points there. Just the fact that he's defensively and going forward, he's a lot better than Royal, Doherty, or we don't know about Spence. None of us know about Spence, and something's got to be going on there with Spence. As much as I want to see him, something's got to be going on. I trust the manager, but we're allowed to vent our frustrations from time to time. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it there. Make sure you're smashing a like and subscribing to the channel. Please hit that notification button. We've got videos coming out, live watch-alongs. We love banter. We love the smart assness. Rival fans bring it. We talk shit. I can be humble, but I can also talk shit when I need to. we love your input. We love when you guys talk to us and tell us how you feel. So make sure you're commenting on videos if you're watching back, and make sure you take it easy. And hopefully we can pick up ourselves midweek at home to Lisbon. So take care, guys, and as always, stay Spursy.